morning, good evening. Welcome to this week's Fiberific Live Craft and Chat, where we craft and chat live. Now, just as a straight up mention, YouTube are telling me that you are not getting a very good signal, so there might be some buffering or some such. I've tried something on this end, doesn't seem to have made much difference. So I'm really sorry if that is happening. I'm just going to run another speed test because I ran one before and it was fine. But, you know, it's live streaming and stuff. But everything looks good on my end. Let's just see if the stream strength has changed. No, stream strength is still the same. It's really good. Just that's the download speed. Come on the upload speed. I wish I could run it in the reverse order so I could get my upload speed first. But anyway, while that's running in the background, let me know in the chat if you are getting a janky stream. According to YouTube, everything, according to my telco, everything is good to go. So if you were here for our productivity stream on Saturday, the first thing I want to say is thank you. It was an absolute nightmare. My internet here died, and it hasn't died in a really, really long time. And it died well and truly. Like, we had to log a service call and had to do some jiggery pokery on both our end and our telco's end. Now, luckily, we got it sorted out, but it did take until Sunday. So, or Sunday evening, I would say. So instead of like the 4 hours they promised before they started connecting with us, it was 12 hours before they connected with us. So it took a long time to fix it, which meant we ended up trying some different methods of live streaming, and it really put me through my live streaming paces. So those of you that jumped around to find where the stream was at and then hung out in the stream, I really appreciate you. I know that that's not the goal of the productivity streams. So it is I absolutely appreciate you making that effort. And I also appreciate you guys who are here right now making an effort to watch this live stream of me talking about the previous live stream. So thanks so much for that. I just want to jump in and look in the chat. Leanne says, good morning. Hey, Leanne, good to see you. Kelly's jumping in as well. Bianca's jumping in to say hi too. Loving the new backdrop. That was a little bit of AI jiggery pokery just for the thumbnail. That's not my room at all, although I very much liked it. So I'm like, instead of sky blue, could I have a teal wall and then put some timber furnishings up against it? The furniture, the shelving unit that I'm planning on buying is an IKEA timber unit. So, you know, maybe that could be my inspiration. So, because I sort of like put in like what I wanted it to be, and I want it to be like this, and I want it to have baskets, I want it to have yarn, I want it to have a comfy chair, I want it to have a steaming cup of tea, all these sorts of things. And then when it made it, I was like, kind of really like that, like a lot. So yeah, I've saved that. Let's have a look here. Knitspin Girls is jumping in as well. You guys are saying that the stream is looking good, so that's great. So thank you for that. Christina Trotter, great to see you in the chat here. Morning all, the first and last time to catch you before I head back to school next week. So back to watching replays. Well, I'm glad you made it today, Christina. And I hope you have a great time getting back to school. Kelly says that at her place, she's been having power blips randomly over the last 2 weeks. The power supply has been a bit dodgy lately. Not sure if it's because of everybody needing their aircon. You know, I hadn't even considered that it was a power issue, because we haven't really had much we haven't had any brownouts or anything like that. But that doesn't mean that the power supply is not, you know. So yeah. Francis is from Sawtell Caravan Park. Oh, there you go. On a trip. Game Widows, trying to finish the weaving I started last week. Great to see you. Great to see you trying to continuing on with the project as well. Because you are a project finisher, whereas I'm a project starter. And that's something I did want to touch on today a little bit was, so last Thursday, I really had to sort of nearly, and I don't like to put it this way, but nearly had to force myself to craft. And it was like, look, I'm just going to do a bit of knitting. Like this is just basic knitting. I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to do it. So I've been using my focus friend, and I did upgrade to the paid app this week because it was like, I don't know, like 12 bucks or something for a year. So I was like, I'll upgrade. So my little dude now makes socks and scarves. Not that I've bought much with my credits, but it's been really helpful to stop me from touching my phone, which is what I think, because like there's different reasons why people's Crojo goes away while their Crafting Mojo disappears. Total broad spectrum of the reasons why. Okay. So it's definitely it was definitely been helpful in making me consciously not doom scroll. And that has done wonders for me. That's absolutely done wonders for me. And I don't know if it'll make a difference for any of you, but the app is called Focus Friend. It's a little bean. I always think of him as a kitty, but he is a bean, and that just, you know, rewards you with knitting of all things when you successfully don't touch your phone for that time. The thing I've noticed is it lets you like check the time and stuff like that, so you can tap on your screen without it cancelling it. So you can be like checking your time or checking your notifications. Like, so if you're waiting for something important, it doesn't cost you your credits. But if you actually start actively doing anything, it stops them. So yeah, it's I've been really enjoying that, and so that's been really super helpful. I've had a lot more of my actual work on this week as well, so that's also been helpful as well, just to, you know, keep me focused. Less crafting time when you got to do actual work, but you know, that's okay too. That's okay too. So I want to know, how many of you have started new projects this year already? Because I've been trying really, really, really hard not to start anything new, and I don't actually know if I've succeeded, other than my Christmas stars. Or not stars, they're snowflakes. Other than my snowflakes, which was a planned thing to start this year, I don't think I've started anything new. It doesn't mean I haven't. It's not jumping in my face. You know, where are we at now? We're like, we're not even finished the first month, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm really struggling already not to start something new. So yeah. Yeah, that's right, Bianca. It's doing its job. That app is totally doing its job. Josephine's still swatching the Paint Nile artistry. I love that yarn. Like, I've got a couple of different colorways in it, and I really do like it. I wish I had some more options, or even just plain Paint Nile in a few colors that might match the artistry. That'd be nice. Heaven forbid we match solids with patterned yarns. Yarn companies, are you listening? Like, seriously. You're losing money. Not everybody wants to make everything in a fully patterned yarn, and then you don't supply solids that match. Like, far out. Francis says we had a lovely sunny day yesterday, and today is sunny, so going for a swim after lunch. That is awesome. Bianca says it's much better for your mental health too, not to be doom scrolling. Absolutely it is. Absolutely. I'm still staying informed, and I'm still doing my research for work, and I'm still spending time online. It's just much more controlled. Game Widow says there's two fleeces sitting by my loom. Staring at me. Maybe we'll be sorting this weekend when it's stupid hot. Yeah. Bianca says I started and finished a shawl, and now I'm working on a top just for a change. Is that like top number 7 for 2026? Like, yeah. Knitspin Girl says I've started 2 projects, but I've also finished 2 projects. That's what I want to do. I want to do that. I want to start projects and like finish a project, then start another project, rather than just keep starting projects and then having so many projects. I know I have this conversation like at least once a year, at least, where I'm like, oh, I've got so many projects on the go. But I think for me, it was also part of like I was feeling guilty because I wasn't crafting at all, looking around at all the projects I had on the go. So the mountain seemed bigger. I've since started sort of looking around and going, actually, it's not as bad as I thought. So that is good too. I'm just going to shut some stuff here that I don't need. There we go. Everything. Shut that as well. All right. Christina says that she started 2 summer tops, but cast on only. in the Discord, I've listed my 12 projects I want to finish before Spendigo. That's actually a fantastic idea. Do you guys like so I don't think we've got a specific area. I mean, I suppose it's the accountability thread, really, isn't it? So should we make a subsection of the accountability thread where we all just chat about like projects we want to finish, or just leave it as is? I'm probably making more work than I need to. Molly says that she's just started on a granny square dress for her daughter. That sounds super cute. Francis says, no new projects. They bought lots of yarn and fibre with me in case. Knitting a project from the naughty corner. I'm trying to decide if I frog it or not. You know, I sometimes I think that even sometimes just making that decision of, you know what, I don't like this, or I don't like this combination of yarn and pattern, or I don't like this yarn, or I don't like this pattern. You know, it's just making that decision to stop working on it and frog it and reclaim the yarn for something else. Sometimes that's what you need to do. So once you've decided, there's no guilt. You've made a decision one way or another. Leanne says, I've purchased yarn twice and started new projects, a Nord crochet. So are they not crochet projects, or you're a naughty crocheter? Because like you've had some time off craft. I don't see this as a bad thing. The Game Widow says, I've started and finished a couple of projects this year, a couple of spins, and now the weaving. Scrolling never bothers me. What is classed as doom scrolling? Doom scrolling is just where you're just constantly picking up your phone and just watching stuff and reading stuff and watching and reading. And it's also like the kind of content that you get, but like to the point where I didn't even realize I was doing it. I would put on a YouTube video or a series show that I want to watch, like not just a background noise thing, like I want to watch it. Like prime example was I put on the new series of, oh my God, I've forgotten its name again. The New Zealand one, not Blackwood, it's something else wood. I'm picturing everybody, but not the name of the town. Anyway, that show, I put on the new season of that and realized that it had gone through 2 episodes and I hadn't, Broken Wood, thank you. And I hadn't watched anything. I was just on my phone. And Tibbles, are you right, mate? He's not, apparently. He needs to yell and tell the world that he's sitting by himself and he's not a fan. Anyway, and so it is just, you know, and then I was sort of like, oh, I wonder who the murderer was, and realized, no, this is the next episode. And had to scrub right back to the start. So it's nearly like a loss of time as well. So that was, oh, you guys could hear him as well. Like he's very loud. He wakes Abby up from the kitchen. So, but yeah, so that's what I call doom scrolling. There's probably a definitive definition, like there's probably like a definition of it, but that's what it is for me. Game Widow says, I have a list taped to the wall for what needs to be made for Bendigo, a couple of few new items to develop as well. Oh, awesome. Francis says, I feel like the yarn was too heavy. Oh, then yeah, not suited for purpose. Total legit reason to frog it. Total legit reason to frog it. So yeah. Angela, great to see you. I have a few whips and a couple of those are still in timeout. I have a few that are for either taking to sporting events or to church. Excuse me, sorry. I'm working on what will hopefully be a cute granny stitch poncho. Well, we certainly don't want it to be an ugly granny stitch poncho, do we? No. That sounds awesome. I love that. It's Yeti o'clock. I realized I've got tea, I've got coffee, and I have water. So I've got all the Yetis out today. All the Yetis are out, but I need a sip of something. I'm a bit dry. So I actually don't know what I want to work on today, but what I do want to do is I want to show you. I actually got up to the next section of my shirt here. So I've been doing all the, like the, oh, that's the side. There we go. That's why I'm like, why is that looking janky? So this is, up to here. So, now, I think I'm like 3 rows, which is a slightly different, it's a slightly different increase. Like I was increasing every second row up to this point. Now I've got to increase every row for like 3 rows. And then I'm up to the tables. And then I'm up to the splitting for sleeves. So super excited about where this is up to. So that's pretty cool. This is so soft. I don't know how it's going to wear, because I'm noticing even as I'm just, you know, throwing it around the house, as it's starting to sort of fluff up a little bit. So I think it's going to have a little halo, and I'm actually not upset about that. I'm actually okay with that. It'll be a bit different. So yeah, it's definitely already got a little bit of a halo. So, but yeah, I don't know if, can you see the halo? I don't know if you can just see it's starting to form there. I don't know if it's going to end up peeling or if it's just going to stay as a halo. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'll be really disappointed if it peels, because I got so much of this yarn in different colors. So what I'm also doing is, as I'm bringing things out, I'm writing a list of what I've got so I can double check I've got everything in Ravelry. So I've got my pink ranunculus. Ranunculus. There we go. I don't know if that's how you spell it, but that's how I'm spelling it. Yeah, Angela, it is. I think it's partly that for me as well. So yeah. Have you seen the new Yeti colors? There's a really nice bright yellow and orange. I have, but I have enough Yetis now. Getting this new water bottle, that was it for me, because I didn't have a water bottle this size, and I kept using Abby's, and she kept getting angry at me because my water bottle's a bit bigger. So it's great for lots of things. But this size is also really good. So I think this is the 750 ml. I want to say, I'm just like making sure that lid's on. It is, yeah, this is about the 750 ml. So my other one's just over 1 litre. So it's just a little bit bigger. This one's easier to hold in my hand. The other one's just a little bit big. I still like it. I'm still using it, but I like that that I have something slightly different. But when it comes, like, I want to get 1 more cup, but just because I want 4, not 3, there's no other reason than that. And I'm really happy with my Ramblers. And one thing I will say that I've really noticed, and I'm a little bit disappointed in, is my old stuff, like my old Ramblers, they're in top-notch condition, no little scratchies or anything like that. I'm noticing that the newer stuff, some of the paint's coming off things. Like the pink mug, we've got a whole patch of silver. The paint's just coming straight off. And Yeti apparently don't care. So I'm a bit nervous at the moment about buying more Yeti. So, but my older stuff, no problems. Like this is older and there's not even a scratch on it. And this thing's been thrown around, chucked in the dishwasher, all sorts of stuff. So I'm just, you know, I don't know if it's like something we're doing, but from what I'm seeing in the Facebook groups, it's everybody. So I think that they've done something a bit different, especially with it's especially with the fashion colors. And I think even Deb's had a problem with hers, like the non-standard colors. I think they feel different, like not a lot, but something. But I love the cups. The cups still work perfectly fine. I don't care about the colors. I mean, I do. I don't like that they look grubby, but worst case scenario is you can just pick it all off and have silver. So, yeah. Oh yeah, I'm hoping the yarn doesn't peel too. Absolutely. Molly says I have some undyed yarn that I'm just lingering on, trying to decide if I should dye it before or after I've completed the project. So I actually have an opinion on this one, Molly. Shocking, I know. What happens if you make something that you absolutely love and then the dye doesn't turn out how you're hoping and it actually detracts away from the thing that you made? That's my concern. Like, that's why I dye as yarn. I don't dye as fiber because I like to dye it as yarn. So I dye it as yarn. So, You know, it's just, it's like the middle ground, right? So I don't want to go and make something and then dye and realize, oh my gosh. So unless you're planning on like a dip dye, which is where you slowly over time, slowly lower it in so it has a gradient coming either up or down. I think that can be really effective, where you're lowering like the whole garment in at once. That can look really amazing. But otherwise you have to be really careful of making sure the back and the front, like if you're flat dyeing it and you're doing, you know, something in particular, you've got to be really careful with that. So yeah, it's ultimately your call, but that's always my fear. Oh, I bought my daughter the 26-ounce Rambler bottle in the new yellow, her favorite color. Abby's loving the yellow as well. Vampire, it's great to see you. My Ravelry link, thank you. 750 ml, isn't that what wine bottles come in? It is, and a lot of our spirits as well, they all come in 750. I just realized I could just pour a whole bottle of chilled wine into a Yeti and just walk around drinking a whole bottle of wine for the day. Cool. I love my Miki cups. They're leak proof when the straw is out, which is good because I am spilling my drink prone. Yeah. I like being able to close all my lids. Absolutely. I thought about making something and then dyeing it like the dye was spilled across it. That could be an interesting look. See, this is the thing. It depends on what you're after. It really does. So, you know, like there is absolutely pros and cons to dyeing the completed product. And depending on what you like and what you want, then dyeing it after could be the answer. But yeah, it just depends on what you're after. Oh, you'd normally dye the yarn first as well? I mean, maybe it could be an experiment for you, like the jumper that you're, or the, is it a jumper? Or just a project that you said? Oh, a project. For some reason, my brain instantly went to a jumper. But whatever the project is that you're doing, maybe it could be a test to see, because you could end up with something really interesting as well. Yeah, it's I don't know, it's nearly like it's the safe option. It's the safe option to dye it as the yarn. Doesn't mean it's the most artistic, honestly. I mean, they're both very artistic and very clever. Alrighty, where are we up to? I haven't touched this guy all week. So I'm still up to the blocks. Because I was working on the ranunculus instead. I kept looking at the blocks thinking, yeah, I should do the next section of blocks, but my brain was just like, let's just knit, like straight knit. And I think that's what it was. It was the straight knitting here. It was all these garter all this garter section that got me going again. And so my brain's like, you know what? Knitting by itself is safe. Patterning and doing all sorts of gorgeous things, less so. So I just want to add that one to my, so what is that called? That's my, Hibernate West Knits cowl. I don't know if it's called Hibernate, but I know what to look for if I write that. Okay, so I've got that one. What else have I got here? Do you know what? I pulled out this guy. I am still carrying the yarn up the side. I am, yep. And then I've got this guy here, which I haven't touched or looked at in ages. I'm up to the sleeves. I might just do this. Can I zoom out a little? I forgot to put the camera thing on, so the colors might be a bit off, but that's all right. So let me just get this dude out of the way. All right, so that's the bottom. That's the top. I'm just giving everything a shake around because it's a bit of a mess. All right. That's where I'm up to. I'm up to this section of the sleeve. So I've done like, luckily, look at that. Look at me leaving markers in there so I know where I'm up to. How cool is that? I don't know what they are. I don't know what I'm marking, but it's probably something in the pattern that made me decide to do that. But where is the sleeve join? There it is there. Okay. So I've done that much of a sleeve. So This is the stripy ranunculus. This feels amazing, honestly. No, it's not a ranunculus at all, this one. This isn't a ranunculus. Why did I say ranunculus? This one is in Ravelry, so I'm just going to add it to my list. Stripe Pride Top. So I'll have to work out in the pattern where I'm up to with this sleeve. I believe I just stopped at a normal point. I wasn't having any particular difficulties except for my brain, and so I was worried about my tension changing, and I didn't want that to happen. It's probably going to happen no matter what, so I probably should just pick it back up and keep going, really. Yeah, it's the Pride yoke. Yep. But yeah, so then I've got the other sleeve to attach, and I paused it because I wanted to try it on with both the sleeves so I could work out how much longer to do the body, because I've done a bit of the body, but I don't think it's as long as I want it to be yet. But I also know like tops sit differently for me. And so like once I've got sleeves on, it's probably the same for you, but it all just sits a bit differently once the sleeves are all set in. And so I wanted to have the sleeves done and then continue on with the body. So that's why there's needles down here ready to go with yarn still attached, so I don't lose where I'm up to in the ball. And you know, like here, I think I started with the gold instead of the blue, and then just decided whatever, it's going to be big stripes anyway, so does it matter? The answer is no. I tried really hard to match it up properly, and then it turned out that it was just like, oh, actually this section slightly changes just after you've gone to all that effort to join that color up so it's the perfect color. The answer is no. So yeah. But anyway, it's not too bad. I mean, I know I probably notice it, but no one else is probably going to notice it. So that's where I'm up to with that guy. Get all that back in there. Get it all back into the bag. So there's nothing else in there. No, just the yarn. So good. I've noticed I've been dumping second projects on top of things. So I think there's only one project in a bag, and then find out that there's actually more than one project in a bag. And you're just like, whoops. Now what else have I got? Okay. I've also got my I think of this as like a gelato top, but it's just a granny square top. In the soft colors. So, and I'm not 100% certain if I'm actually going to sort of create it like a baby doll top. So so whether or not I'll like get to the splitting for sleeves and then do something different for the rest of it, I haven't 100% decided. I am following a pattern. This is an actual pattern. And so I am following that for right now, but I haven't decided if I'll change it, like to give me a different shape. So I'll decide. I don't have to decide yet. I've still got a bit to go before I split for sleeves. So I can keep going with this guy as needs be. And I am weaving in the colors as I go. I know it doesn't look like it, but these are all woven in, ready just to be trimmed once I wash it, except for the first blue. So that one's looks like there's yarn ends everywhere, but they're all woven in as you go. So so there's that. It's one of the projects where there's like a zillion in a bag. Now I've also got, this one's on hold for now, but that's the V-stitch. The reason it's on hold, everyone, why is this one on hold? Let's see if anyone knows me. Like, I've gotten to a certain point and had to stop. I could probably keep going for now, I've just realized, but yes. So this is the fast V-stitch. It's a blanket width, so I've just got it folded over. And that's in Sierra. But that's where I get to with one ball. Yes, I will run out of yarn. Yes, I will. Yes, shocking. I know. So think I had 3 balls, and I thought, oh yeah, I should be able to get like a little knee rug out of 3 balls. But when I realized that I only got this long, do I have a tape measure? Abby stole my ruler. Oh, there it is. There's a ruler. She stole my metal ruler. I realized this is like, that's a 30 centimeter ruler. So, 30. So 33 centimeters for a ball. And I just thought, well, that's only going to be 100 centimeters long. I mean, technically that's a knee rug, right? But I like knee rug widths, but longer. So, and then it's 30, 30, 43. So it's 86 centimeters wide. So it's even just a bit on the narrow side. But I was thinking about putting a border in. But the other thing is, if I can make it long enough, it'll also stretch. Like there's tons of stretch. So yeah. So right now, Leanne, you're missing the A. It's exclamation BMAC, and I think that's why it's not working for you. But yeah, so I just realized 3's not quite going to cut it. So I paused that one before I got too far down the rabbit hole. So there's that one. Right, the rest of that stuff in that bag is all to do with those projects. So that can go back in there. So there's only 2 in that bag, which is great. Unusual, great. Yeah, here. So like if you want to have a look at the list of the commands, you just and all the different commands, you just need to type in a list, and that'll give you all the different auto commands like that. Now we also have we're halfway through. Are you guys bored yet? Like, let me know if you're bored. Are we even halfway through? I mean, I was digging through some stuff, so I found some really old projects to decide what I'm going to do with. So probably frog them. But we've also got the coastline. Like I'm pointing over here because that's where all the circles are. So I'm not going to bring up that project or that bag of yarn, but because it's just a bag of yarn. The coastline crochet blanket that's being done in Paige's Crochet's Legacy 8-ply, which I've been really enjoying using. I think it's lovely. So that bag's done. This bag is done. That's a storage bag. What's in here? We've got these. This is the little hexy blanket, which is just, it's not really it's not like it's got no deadlines or anything like that. It's just a do it as I feel it kind of thing. The way I'm going, it's probably end up going to be just a piece of something like the one behind me ended up being, but that's their little hexy blanket. Because I mean, I'd love that as an actual full-size blanket, honestly. I've probably got enough scraps to get there. And the other thing is, as I finish 4-ply projects off, I can add it. Like, sure, right now everything in here is all my hand-dyed stuff, but doesn't mean I can't put other people's hand-dyed stuff in there, right? So it's the mini hexy scrap blanket, and this is just the bag of scraps. These are all the scraps. Some of them are in better condition than others. I mean, look, that one's quite a decent size. The other thing is I do come in and steal bits out of this bag, especially when there's a big one like that, like some of the greys. Like, hello. Oh, hello. So, you know, there is that. Roll you back up so I've got the right hook. And then, what else have we got here? This is actually I was going to start a project, and then I cast it on, and that's as far as it got, because it's weird. It's like, oh, we're going to make a singlet, but actually what we're going to do is, once I started following all the like reading the pattern properly, which I probably should have done first. Read your patterns, people. Then then it's like, oh, once you've done your cast, like you're going to get you to make these weird little shoulder tabs, but then on the other side we're going to do, and you're going to have to join the weird little shoulder. Anyway, I'm not impressed with the construction. So that's as far as I got. But I do have all the yarn here. And I have enough yarn to make a whole top. And I'm like, you know what? I actually don't like that top. So I'm thinking frogging it, maybe. Frogging it. So that is a singlet. I'll find the pattern for it. It was a Knit Picks pattern. I picked up a pile of their digital pattern books for like $3 or $4 each in a sale, and they had like 10 or 15 patterns in them. Not a fan of how that one's written. So there's that one. But how cute are the bin chickens? Hello, bin chickens. This is an Emma bag. It's a small Emma bag. Over there. Oh, actually, and that's just all yarn in there. It doesn't have projects. Oh, you're another ball of that. Where is the bag for that? What did I do with it? I thought I just had it. I'm just double checking that this doesn't have something in the bottom of it. I answered, you have no idea how much I do use them. Okay. No, there's nothing else in the bottom of that one. Somewhere is my Moonicardi. This ball of yarn belongs with that project. But I also have the Moonicardi, which is a Tunisian crochet cardigan. I thought that was in that bag. I am perplexed now. What did I do with it? Did I do something with it? Like it was right here. I've been kicking. Oh, there it is. I'm like, I've been kicking it around for days. It's got a battery, free battery for the Moonicardi. All right, found the Moonicardi, everybody. I still haven't gotten any further past that since I used reclaimed yarn and it started looking janky and I was all upset with it. So I really should do something about that, because we're going to be hopefully coming into weather I can wear this soon. So come on, focus, there we go. So this is a Tunisian crochet Moonicardi. I'm up to, like, I've got to join on, I'm working on this section here, but I think I janked something up there and I've got to go back and fix that. I'm not sure if I've just pulled something tight or whatever, but I think I've janked it. I think I've got the wrong number of stitches there. So I've got to go back to there. But this is my Tunisian cardi. It feels absolutely amazing. So it's got like a honeycomb border. All the pockets have the honeycomb border, the edges of this. It is really lovely. Now the problem I have with this was of my own making. This is not the pattern's fault. This was me. I got to a point and I'd frogged out yarn for something. I'd done something, I had to frog out the yarn, but I'd left it stitched for a while and thought, oh, I think I was going to use this for something else. So I'll just use that ball. And then it looked awful and it was really doing my head in, and it was going to change the tension of the finished project, because like everything else is still in new balls. And then there was just one section of reused yarn. Probably not a problem for most people. But it was, because it wasn't the whole project using the reclaimed yarn, it was going to change the tension in a front panel. So, so I'm going to have to do that. But yeah, this here is why I've paused. I've got to go back and work out what I did. I don't know if you can see, but can you see where it's sort of kicking out there? I don't think it's supposed to. It's supposed to be straight. So I got to work out what I did there and fix that up. But yeah, so that's the Moonicardi and where I'm up to with that one, which is, it's been hibernating for some long time now. Like it's got dust on it now. And this is another one of Emma's amazing bags. This one's superheroes. So, and this isn't in there surely because just purely because it can't fit. So that is over here. So if I move that to one of my other bags rather than stuffed in a corner. Now I do have a blanket. I think it's like a spring walk or something like that, where I've just done a couple of test squares, and I'm happy enough with the test squares. There's no issue there. I got other stuff to do. And so it's kind of been sidelined. So I'm planning on, I've got the yarn for that project here. It's just this big bag of mixed colored cottons. Oh, that's not under the camera, so you can't see it. All different colored cottons in, you know, soft colors and stuff like that. So, you know, pastels of everything. So that one's just been sort of sitting there, not really doing anything because no reason. I don't hate it. I don't not enjoy working on it. There's no reason. This just it got sidelined. So what is that one? That was like a spring walk, something or other, crochet blanket. I'll look it up. There's a pattern for it. It's got a pile of squares, and I was going to do like multiple squares, like each of the squares in different colors, so that it really looked very lots of variation. Oh, I also need to make at least 10 of my snowflakes so far. So I've got to go in and get those going again. So this is where I'm at. I've got this list. Now that doesn't include some of the stuff that I noticed that had been sitting in, like I've got like a top here. Louis, your little tail was wagging. I'm going to reach over you here. Hopefully that we don't. Oh, also we've got the Moreland blanket, which is near Louis' head here. This could be dangerous. All right, let's push things back so we don't crush Louis. Okay. I don't even know what pattern this is. I would hazard a guess that this is probably a Jenny King Designs, one of her, look at that, I don't even know what I'm making here. I've got a ball of sif, possibly a sock. I'm going to assume it's a sock. Found some hooks that I was missing. They need a good wipe down. They're a bit gross, a bit grubby. That's quite a dusty bag. This is one of my first project bags that I made. And it's just a little basket more than a bag. And I think that's when I realized I really like to be able to close them so that I don't have dusty stuff going on. But it's cute. Actually, did I make this one or my friend Belle make that one? Maybe Belle made it. I could be taking credit for someone else's work. It was either myself or Belle, but we were both making a lot of these sorts of things at the same time. Okay, so put that back in there because that's going to get frogged. This one here, there was some mohair fibre in the bag. Look at that beautiful orange mohair. Rubbish now. This is Bendigo 8-ply cotton, and I think this is just one of Jenny King's Get Squared tops based on the shape and everything, and it's probably nearly done looking at the length and everything. So yeah, this is a v-neck one, so I've gone v-neck at the front. Let me just go like this. It's probably easier if I just hold it up. V-neck at the front, circle neck at the back. It just needs some sleeves and probably a little bit more length, and that one's done. So yeah. Hey, I'm glad you could jump in. It's not always possible. Oh yeah, look, it's definitely a Jenny King project. It's got a 6mm hook with it. So yeah, there we go. But yeah, I've got to work out what I'm going to do with that one because it's a bit dusty and make me sneeze. That one can go over there, far away. Let's have a look. Is there a pattern? Hang on a second. Is there a pattern for a jumper that's crocheted yoke with a knitted body? I'm sure there possibly is, but that shouldn't stop you from making one. I think I've seen them, but you know, I haven't made one. So, oh man, there's something. I think it was the mohair got me. Oh look, no, it's little snowy. That's how old that Jenny King one is. It little snowy hairs came out with it. Her little white needle fluffs that we used to call them, because they would just dig into everything. Oh, okay. It's really sad when you remember your old dog and then you're like, man, I'm reacting to that. Look at the other designs from the design of the Jethro card issues. A few variations on the theme. Oh, there you go. So that was like a crocheted body with knitted sleeves and knitted neckbands. So yeah. So that's where I'm up to. I think that's it. It's off the top of my head. I do have a couple of blankets that I sort of. Oh, I want to add the Moreland blanket in. But they're sort of more like I was testing some stuff out, so they're going to get frogged back out. So they're not going to stay. So I don't count them, right? They're not staying. Louis, do we need to zoom you out a little? Zoom you out a little. Phone's showing all its, because this is just a feed through a phone. So let me just see if I can zoom you out there. There we go, and then zoom you in here to get rid of the phone stuff. There we go. There we go. Now we just need to. There we go. I just wanted the autofocus button gone. Oh, now I'm itchy. All right. So that's where I'm up to. That's State of the Nation. And that's probably part of the reason why I was feeling so overwhelmed and a bit stressed out with everything, because all these project bags live on the floor around me. And I also noticed that for whatever reason, the yarn on the, like I have like a 2-seater couch and a little, like a little trolley sort of like this next to that. And I usually keep one seat for a project that I'm working on, but for some reason there was balls and balls of yarn there and blah, 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 blah. And it was an absolute nightmare. So I actually cleaned all that out earlier this week, because I wasn't using any of it. It wasn't like I was needing it for anything. It was just, it was piling up there. So it was like every time I sat down, I felt like that was like this huge pile of stuff that was coming to attack me. I have some white, grey, black fading superwash worsted that I want to make something with, but damn, do I want to make another scarf. That's the thing, isn't it? Like there comes to a point where you're like, okay, I've got enough of this. Like, so for me, I've got enough beanies. I don't need any more beanies personally. So I don't make beanies unless somebody specifically asks for one, usually my brother Daniel. I don't wear scarves at all. So I don't make scarves. I make cowls because I don't mind having my neck warmed. I don't like the flipping thing and the chance for them to fall off. I do like to make shawls, so I haven't made one of those for ages, which is why I started the West Knits one. And that's going to be like a solid shawl, whereas most of the shawls I've made have always been lace shawls, so that's going to be a bit different too. But yeah, you kind of just have to sit down and work out, what do you actually want to make? Like, what will you actually use? Because that ends up being the trick sometimes, like making things that you'll actually use, that don't just end up taking space. Like I am so looking forward to winter right now, because I want to wear my Jethro cardigan again, because that's just like wearing a blanket. It's so comfy. So, you know, but it's not, I don't have the weather for it here. Whereas even our winters are kind of like, this particular room gets quite cold in winter. But our living room, we get lots of sun in there and it's got heating. So I don't need it out there. I don't go outside that much really. And if I do, I'm usually going to the car to somewhere else. So I don't need like warmish much in the way of more than a long sleeve shirt and a pair of socks. So I have a question for you. Have you considered socks? So, because socks is something that you just end up using a lot of, and it's one of these things where, like, maybe not with the worsted weight yarn unless you're just looking for some house socks, or unless you wear boots. Worsted weight yarn in boots is really good. I made Tim I think he's got like 3 or 4 pairs of socks in worsted weight yarn in boots, and it doesn't have any nylon in it. It's Bendigo Luxury 10 ply is what I used. So, you know, which is a worsted weight pure wool, and very soft wool. I was concerned that it would wear through, but they seemed to be going fine. And they were machine washable, which Tim socks need to go in the washing machine. I don't want to hand wash them. Lots of people hand wash their hand knit socks. I'm like, put them in a zipper bag, off they go. So I use super wash wool for socks. I use things like that. So, you know, like that's one of those things there. Yeah, I suppose he's got a lovely hand dyed he wants to show, so he probably doesn't want to use that for socks. I don't wear acrylic on my feet. I only wear cotton or wool on my feet. So I don't do acrylic feet anything. My feet get ridiculously warm and ridiculously cold, so I want something that'll either keep the heat in, or also, you know, wick the moisture away, whatever. So, and it's such a personal thing. It's such a personal thing. So, I don't know, but I think like learning the construction of socks could be fun. Like maybe probably wouldn't make the kids socks, just because like they'll grow out of them and then who's going to wear them, kind of thing. But yeah, it's one of those things. I think it's a really cool skill set to learn, is basically where I was trying to get to with that. Learning how to make socks just knocks over so many barriers of like, that's got to be hard, because once you've made a pair of socks, it sort of makes everything else look a bit easier. But at the same time, once you get through the different sections of socks, you're like, actually, socks aren't that hard. I thought they were hard, and they're actually not if you follow some instructions. So yeah, it's, you know, it's one of those things. So it's very personal, but I would say, like, if you don't want to make yourself a jumper, if you know, Knit Spin Girls is absolutely a sock knitting machine. Also Game Widows, both of these ladies, sock knitting machines. So if you need any help, tag them in the Discord, and I am sure they will. I'm just throwing you guys under the bus. I'm sure if a knitter asked you for particular help on how to do something in a sock, I can't imagine either of you saying no, honestly. Sorry to throw you both under the bus. Myself, others as well. There's lots of people who've made socks and stuff like that will absolutely want to encourage you. So, you know, if you need advice on like a nice simple pattern to get started with, you know, I would say if you want to do crochet socks, to look into Addie Day Design. She had some really cool crochet socks that weren't too hard. Oh no, you can totally crochet socks. There's crochet, I suppose, like Knit Spin Girls and Game Widows are both sock knitters, but there are some really great crochet sock patterns out there that use 4-ply wool, so you can still fit them into you know, work shoes and things like that if need be. Or you can make them thicker to fit in boots. So yeah. Froggy, great to see you. It's unusual to see you in one of my Fibrific chats, but great to see you all the same. I'm gonna have some more coffee. Game Widows, you finished socks, so you're winning as far as I'm concerned. Tamantha, you have different skill sets when it comes to the socks. I'm still got to make the tube sock with the afterthought heel that you make. I still haven't braved that because I'm still not prepared to cut my knitting. I know it's one stitch. I'm getting there though, because I was doing something and I realized, oh, I'd done provisional cast on for edges to come back and join. I'm like, wouldn't it have just been easier just to knit this all together and then come back and knit it? And I just went, oh, I can't believe I suggested that for myself. So yeah, I was like, oh no, run away. What jumped into my head? Due to you. What is that? Do you hear me heal that? I'm not quite sure. I think there might be a typo there, or maybe my brain broke when I realized that I was suggesting to myself to steak things. I don't know. No time, not seen. Okay, thank you, Froggy. So So did you, I kind of did hear, like after I realized what I'd done, I was just like, oh, I need to tell Emma, but then I think I forgot. So I don't think I told you, but there was a little bit ago. I think it was before Christmas. Um, oh, did you hear me yell that Tablet was drunk? Okay. Um, I didn't hear you yell it, but I definitely think you would have appreciated it. So yeah, so I was just like, oh man. I should probably knit something while I'm here. Like we've got this. That's part of it was I had to charge my iPad up. It was dead as a dodo. I couldn't even turn this silly thing on. I wanted to double check I was exactly where I thought I was with this pattern. I'm just I will bring it back down to here. I'll just double check. Yeah, you guys can't see the pattern. It's a paid pattern, you know, so I don't want it visible, and then go through all that, even accidentally sharing a designer's work that you've got to pay for. I mean, like, admittedly, it is a ranunculus. There is like 11 billion tutorials out there. I just need to count something, all right? So just bear with me while I quickly count something and double check I am where I thought I was. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I've done 7 lots of... No, I need one more. Okay. I'm glad I checked. And I remember saying that to myself the other day as well. Like, oh no, I need one more increase, like, pair. But did I? All right, can we zoom? We can zoom in a little here. There we go. All right. Leanne not helping. Inner Logic says I'll look for a crochet hook sock pattern in the round. Not a fan of seeing. Absolutely, and they're out there. Is Addie Designs, is that not in the round? I thought hers were in a round. I didn't realize they were seamed. I'll have a look. She actually designed one of them using my yarn, which I was just so chuffed about. But it's just a standard 4-ply. It's nothing special. Like, it was nothing like special meterage wise or anything like that. I suppose I could just crochet a foot size tube. Well, I mean, you want to make sure your toes have got enough room to move, because the difference between crochet socks and knitted socks is knitted socks stretch. Crochet socks won't stretch as much in the same sort of manner. So you want to make sure that you've got your toe shaping right. Then technically it is just a tube through the foot area, but then you need to do a heel turn and get that the right size for your heel. And then once you've completed your gusset and heel turn, then it's just sort of another tube up your leg until you want to stop. So it is sort of like lots of tubes. Gamer Widows does this thing where she knits, she'll knit the cuff and then a massive tube and then the other cuff. No, a massive tube and then the toe. And then there's a point where she'll go in and she cuts a stitch and adds in what's called an afterthought heel. So that's just a massive tube of knitting with a cuff on one end and a toe on the other end. Add a day. Yeah, let me see if I can find her. I've got Ravelry open, so I'll just patterns. Addie Day. Oh, I've had knitting. That's not going to work because she doesn't do that. There we go. Deanne Ramsey is her name. Let me see if I can find one of her sock patterns for you. Addie Day Designs. 84 patterns, mostly not socks, but she's got mitts, interesting shapes. There's Jaywalk socks. They're not the ones I'm thinking of, but that's one of hers. Copy link. Where's the chat? There we go. That's the designer, and that's her Jaywalk socks. The ones I'm looking for is a different pattern. Let me just see if I can find it. And Ramsey, is her stuff no longer available? Hang on a second. Oh no, you can still buy it through Ravelry. You can't buy it off her website anymore. Oh, I nearly had a heart attack then. Let's see if I can sort by bench search. I want to look for sock. All right. Segway socks. They're the ones that she designed in my yarns. So copy link. There we go. Paste. There we go. The Segway socks are the one I like. But what I'm going to do is I don't know if can I share my. I don't know if I can share my search. She's got four different designs. Does it share this? Is it? I don't know. That might show you the search I just did. That last one there. I'm not sure. Can someone let me know? So it had five different pairs of the ends crocheted socks. So there we go. But yeah, I'll keep knitting. Just keep knitting. Getting around the heel. Yeah, cuff, tube, cuff, split in half, toes and heels are added. Oh, okay. Cuff, then a big tube, then cuff. Then you split. Oh, okay. Because I was thinking you did one at a time, but that's for two at a time even. So that's awesome. That's even better. Works as expected. Oh, thank you for that. I appreciate it. So yeah, so that's some crochet socks. A few people have made them. I think everyone was pretty happy with them. Lots of crochet socks were made. 100 people made the Segway socks. Everyone was pretty happy with them. So yeah, so I mean, it's an option. It's just another option because we quite often don't think about socks, you know, like especially like, you know, for men, you don't want, not all men wear shawls. I've just got to check here. I've got to do my increase here. Yeah, some men wear shawls, not all men wear shawls. Some men like scarves, scarves and hats, but like, you know, you don't want to make scarves and hats all the time. You can see the end of your warp. That is so good. Yeah, so not everyone wants to just make scarves and hats. So getting in and making something a bit different, you know, I think that's cool, especially if it's about just keeping you warm. The other advantage of the crochet socks is you could totally make crochet socks for the kids and it not feel like you were, you know, you spent all that time and effort. Because like knitting the socks for the kids, like it, as sort of first projects, while that makes a smaller sock, for sure it does, but there gets to a point where the socks don't get a chance to wear out. They just get grown out of, which is one of the big reasons why back in the day a lot of kids wore tube socks. It was because it wasn't dependent on their foot size, like where their ankle sat just moved, and you know they might have gotten a bit baggy around where their ankle was for a while, but it slowly just moves up the tube sock. So, which is why a lot of kids did get tube socks. They didn't have heel turns in their socks. So back in the day, I don't know if that's still the case now. As far as I remember, all of Abby's socks had heel turns. I don't remember her getting tube socks for anything. So, I mean, off the top of my head, obviously, I can't remember every single pair of socks I've bought my daughter in her entire life. She is nearly 21 years old. So she's off on another adventure for the weekend, which sounds exciting and fun. So, yeah. I really love working on the ranunculus. Like, I know we've discussed this before. Who in the chat's made a ranunculus before? I know Bianca has. Bianca inspired me to not be scared, and that's when I made my ranunculus t-shirt. How's her what? How's her bonce? What's a bonce? I don't know what a bonce is. The charity I knit for asks for tube socks. That way they'll fit nearly anybody. Yeah, well, and that's why that, you know. Oh, how's her head? Your tablet really hates you today, Game Widows. It's fine. She's all good. She's all good. There's been no lingering after effects since she bounced on the ground behind a cantering horse. No, she's okay. She's okay. I think she's disappointed that her bruises have gone away because, you know, she likes her battle scars. So, yeah. But she's driving down. I actually don't know exactly where she's going. She's driving. She's just having a little driving holiday weekend. Sort of have a little getaway before, because Tim and I are going away in a couple of weeks for a week. So there will be a missing live stream in February. What date? I think it's like the 3rd Thursday. I'll have to double check, but I am going away for a week in February. Bonce is local slang for head. Yeah, no, I had no idea that a bonce was considered your head. Sorry. I thought it was a typo. Hey, Holly, I really want to knit one, but I'm nervous. I've never knitted a top before, which is silly because I knit socks all the time. I should just give knitting a top a try. Yes. Yes. One thing I will say is I feel silly for waiting so long before making the ranunculus. But the other advantage is there are so many tutorials out there. Now, the thing I love particularly about the ranunculus, it's a bit boxy, all right? Like, so it's quite forgiving. There's not a lot of shaping. I mean, basically, once we do the split for sleeves, everything else is just whatever you want it to be. This is where all the interest is here in the yoke, right? And there's phenomenal step-by-step multiple tutorials to get you through all of this. I made my first one with 4-ply cotton. I made my t-shirt, so which I absolutely love, and I want more. And so I really should just sit down and make more of those t-shirts because they're super comfy. So but it's just so forgiving, and it's probably it's the weirdest design, okay, in that you can make it into anything you want it to be, a 4-ply cotton t-shirt or a worsted weight wool jumper, like a mohair lightweight lace weight sort of beautiful light pullover, you know what I mean? Like, it can be made with any yarn. It's more so than most other sweaters. Like, I've tried doing something similar, like with the Pride sweater. I'm using some different weights than what the pattern specified, and I'm getting some, you know, fun variations on that. But the ranunculus is just because so many people have made it, there's so much in the way of safety net around it. It's not free, but the pattern is super clear. It's super inclusive in sizes, and it's just definitely worth adding it to your queue and having a look at and deciding if you like the shape enough to wear it, because that's what it'll come down to. Is it a shape you will wear? So because over 20,000 people have made ranunculus, you can go through and you can find people a similar shape to you, or at least similar enough, and you can decide if you like how it sits or what you would do differently. You know, would you make it longer? Would you make it shorter? I tend to make mine longer than the pattern because it seems to be quite a short pattern, because of the nature of the design. So it's definitely worth looking at and adding it to your list of, would I wear this? Now, because I am I don't usually, like, this is quite flouncy for me. I like it. It's very comfortable. It's linen, like this top, but I don't tend to wear big, oversized things very often. Because I'm already big enough. I'm one of these people that believe, like, whether I wear a Hessian sack or whether I wear a more form-fitting t-shirt. I don't wear tight t-shirts, but a more form-fitting t-shirt than a Hessian sack. No matter what, I'm still overweight. It's not like I'm hiding anything. Do you know what I mean? So, so yeah, I definitely recommend having a look at it and see if it's the style that you like. Like, it's designed to be made with, like, I think 6 inches of positive ease. I don't make it with 6 inches of positive ease. So I go down a couple of sizes, so mine's a little less positive ease. So that, you know, I get the actual size that's a bit closer to my body. But if you love a nice big loose cardigan, a jumper, especially that you can layer under, it's a good one. There's plenty of them. You've got options, but the ranunculus just seems to be a really solid one. Starting point, lots and lots and lots of backup. Lots of people have made it. Lots of ideas already putting into it. Kelly Pole says here, the ranunculus can be daunting reading the instructions at the start, but you have people to talk to and ask, and that's what makes the difference. I agree with you. I think that's what made the difference for me. Just like I could just, you know, message Bianca and be like, hey, Bianca, I don't know what I'm doing. And she would laugh at me, and then she would help me. And that's the same, like, you just, if you've got questions, throw them into our Discord, or go through the Ravelry notes. There's just so many people who've made it, and it can just be so, I think it's nice to make something that you can get help with rather than feeling like you're all by yourself trying to make it. So I don't know. It's personal preference. It's absolutely personal preference. But if you don't like how it looks, then find something else. Like, seriously, if you can't imagine yourself wearing it, no point making it, honestly. But yeah. Oh, wait. Oh no. How many, hang on. I'm just going to do it here and then double check I haven't missed any others in all my chatterings. I did. I forgot to increase. I forgot to increase there. I did increase it. All right. It's not too bad. I've just got to go back one. Holly says, I'm so glad that I have you guys if I need to ask for help. I've looked at it and I like it. Well, there you go. It's not the cheapest pattern out there, especially once you've got to convert that to Australian dollars. But the advantage is it's just such a well-written pattern. So many people have made it. I didn't notice any errors in it. There's like stitch counts all over the place, so you're not having to go for ages before you work out, oh, do I have the right number of stitches or what? But yeah, definitely worth looking at. Oh yeah, and Bianca's got a great point here. If you can search on Ravelry and it can show you the patterns with the most projects. So if you need, you know, and I tend to do that. If I'm trying out a pattern for the first time, I want a lot of people to have made it. So I can go in and read the notes of what people have written, like go in and check the patterns for the life ring. Oh, Leanne's got to go. See you later, Leanne. Yeah, so, you know, there's the life ring where people have written pattern notes, any adjustments that they've made for different body types or yarn types. You can see those at a glance, which is really good. Oh yeah, like the things I have learnt off this top that I've now put into others. Yeah, absolutely. The skills. That's skills. And also between this and probably Bianca being, you know, I'm very lucky to have Bianca local. Just knowing that, you know what, I don't want that jumper in 10 ply. I'm going to make it in 4 ply, and because I want it more open and more loose, you know. This Bin Girl says reading other people's notes on their Ravelry projects is so helpful sometimes. Look, if I'm paying for a pattern, I want to make sure somebody else has made it and that there are some notes there somewhere. Even if the notes like this pattern needs no notes, you know, like this is amazing, or I adjusted this because I've got a weird body or whatever. Like their notes might be so personally relevant to them, but just knowing that if something's easily adaptable or not, that sometimes makes a difference too. You know, it's hard. So everyone's got to start their projects, their patterns on Ravelry with no one making it, but I do prefer it if someone's made it. Now let me just double check. I did increase both sides. I did. Okay. Let's go round and round and round back to where we were. But yeah, it's look, I'm a big fan of the ranunculus. For me, it's really opened up my wardrobe. Not being afraid. I do have one that I made in 4-ply silk, which I'm going to have to frog, and it's not the pattern's fault. I snagged the silk, and now it's got a big pull, and so I need to frog it and balance the silk yarn back out again and probably turn it into something else. Or maybe even just reknit it. I mean, I could probably pull back to where the silk pull is, because I really hope it'd be under the arms, because I love the sleeves. Do I have it? I don't have it handy. I've got it packed away in like a little zipper bag thing, so it's safe. But my concern is, if I did again, would it just happen again? I don't know. So I've got to work out where the pull is. If it's under the sleeves, I'd consider just frogging that section back. And because I made it with the really, like sleeves like this, where it's like the shorter sleeves, like my sleeves go down to about here, and they've got the I-cord bind off on the sleeve, and I love it. I absolutely love it. So I might have a thing, you know, like open puffier sleeves with a closed edge. I didn't realize I had a thing with my clothes. Maybe that's my thing. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Seems like it could be. That's been increased. Slip that marker. That's been increased. All right. Go around, round, around. Gamer Widows has got something here. Oh, here we go. I don't know why that got held. I like to look to see if there's any projects in my size or in hand spun. I also like the note on one pattern that said they added an extra 4 inches because of their big assets. Yeah, like this is the thing. Seeing what other people do and how hard it is to make these adjustments. Some patterns make it very difficult to make adjustments, or at least they do for me. My mathing skills are not fantastic. But one thing I did learn, and I probably learned the lesson very late, okay? Like, let's just be honest. I probably learned it very late, and there's probably people here that are like, I can't believe you didn't know that. But one thing I realized was, after making a few garments, I'm going to go back to here because I'm going to point at body bits. Was when you're making the garment, like, because I make a lot of top-down garments, right? Because I like to try it on as I go, which there's no issues there. But what I realized I was doing is I was only adding stitches under the arm. So yes, the sleeve itself was a bit bigger on the bottom, but the top of the shoulder always still felt like the top of the shoulder, and the back of the shoulder still felt tight. And then I was reading something a little while ago. I can't remember what I was reading or watching. And they're like, oh yeah, and don't forget, if you need bigger sleeves, you need to be making sure that you're doing more increases through the top of the shoulders. So you've got a broader shoulder area, like you want it to, the shoulders to come down to where it's got to go to, as well as add the sleeve. And I realized I didn't need to add as many under the arm, which was also causing problems. I was adding crazy amounts under the arm, because I'd added some extras in the top. And for my particular body, when I'm looking at patterns, everything's a circumference, right? Like, it's the measuring of the circumference. It's not, you can't split a circumference in half and go, yep, the front half and the back half, and have them the same, because the front half here has got assets, and the back is different. The other thing is, I don't know about you, but I carry more of my weight at the front, so more belly and things like that, whereas my back is narrower. So being able to learn how to adjust things that way. So I was actually able to add extra stitches that would normally be in my back, which would make the back all weird, add those into my sleeves as well. So being able to, like, have what I need at the front, have what I need at the back, have the extras in the sleeves, and somehow still nearly be at the same original stitch numbers, because I was actually moving the stitches around rather than still having tight sleeves and billowing back and overflowing fronts. I was able to learn how to rejig the numbers to get this where I wanted it to be to get the back where, because I actually do have a narrow back, to get the back where I wanted it to be and put all the extras in my sleeves. And so learning how to do all that, that was, you know, it was just something that I didn't even realize that I could do. So the biggest ticket is getting enough stitches that you can move the stitch markers around. So, but the other thing is, especially like with this one where it's a visible raglan line, you want to make sure that you work that out sooner rather than later, because if you've got a visible raglan line, then you move the shoulder seam, that's going to be obvious. So making sure you make those sort of adjustments sooner rather than later so that you've actually got the stitches you need in between the raglan markers. So yeah, that's the thing too. That's the thing I don't always succeed at. I just want to point that out as well. Bust and butt darts are your friend? Yeah, me too. Me too. Although I don't tend to do a lot of darting in knitting. But I have learned how to sew darts. So at my sewing course thing I did. I enjoyed that. That was cool. So, yes. We're nearly at the end of this round. Do, 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 do. Yeah. So yeah, it's like making garments is so personal, and remembering that these patterns are designed around one person, usually the designer. You know, if you don't have similar sorts of issues as the designer, let me just move my marker thing here so I know where I'm up to. I'm going to move it to over here, because now once I finish this round, that's where I need to be. Okay. Yeah. I don't know what I was saying. I got sidetracked by making sure I didn't screw up my pattern. Oh, it helps if I do that so you can see what I'm working on. Is that the one I want? That's the one I want. Yep. So, yeah. Do we have any other recommendations other than the ranunculus? I've been enjoying the Pride sweater, but I have made a couple of adjustments on it for myself. But I still like the pattern. The pattern is cool. I don't think I'd do it with the actual Pride flag colors in it, just not because of Pride flag, but just I don't like that kind of striping. That's all. Like, I got no issues with the rest of the ideology behind it. I'm just not a fan of that sort of striping on my body. So total personal preference. But yeah, so, you know, personal taste and all that, which is why we make our own garments. Yeah. I've been looking for pajamas, and I'm so fussy with pajamas, right? I like stretchy t-shirt fabric for both the top and the bottom, right? I like stretchy bottoms because I'm a rotisserie chicken, all right? And so, and I also like nearly knee-length shorts. And it's still quite hot here, and summer pajamas are still out. So unless you're a nighty person, which not really my jam, but if you're a shorts person, you've got a choice of either full length legs down to your ankles, or shorty shorts, like the little thigh length. Just, you know, they're standard length pajama shorts. Too short for me. So I'm like, man, I am really going to, I've got fabric. I bought some fabric. I'm really just going to have to sit down and do some sewing. So yeah. Yeah. Having made some historical garments, so who's this? The Game Widows. It's fascinating how they were made with minimal cutting and fabric waste. The armpit gusset is amazingly effective. The other thing I loved was just how like usually, like I suppose it depends on the things, but I was looking at like some of the skirts and stuff like that, and they're made so that like it's not quite one size fits all, but like you've got options there where like if you are having a puffy day, it's like, oh, I can't wear that skirt with the nice flat front because I'm having a puffy day and it won't fit. Because everything's made with like ties and stuff like that, and there's so much overlapping fabric, you can just ease it out a little bit for that day, you know, or after a large meal or whatever, and still look really well put together. I loved some of those designs. They were designed to last across multiple seasons. Like they were just designed to last and last and last and last because A, it was slow fashion, and B, clothes cost a lot of money when people only had like enough money for like, you know, one good outfit and workwear. So, you know, I mean, I'm not talking, you know, the lords and the ladies. I'm talking the working class. So, yeah, I love the look of their skirts. I'm not a big skirt wearer. A part of it comes down to I want pockets, I want flowiness, you know, and I want length. And so seeing some of these older designs for the skirts come out, and I'm just like, dude, I need to buy some fabric. Yeah, that's the other thing. They had pockets. And they're handed down. That's right, because they just adjusted to fit everybody. And this is the other thing. I was watching it was just this comedian. He's like, I don't know what women did, but they did something that made that they weren't allowed to have pockets anymore. I don't know what they were putting in their pockets that meant that they were not allowed to, in his, like, he was like, I was looking in my wife's, like I was folding laundry and I was checking pockets for like stuff. And he goes, women's pockets, you can only fit the tips of your fingers in them. You can't put, what are you putting in that? Like a lip balm? That's it? Nothing else and fit in there. And he was like, I don't know what they did. Must have done something. They must have done something to have the rights of pockets taken away from them. But yeah, I like, if I make anything, it gets pockets, and it gets good pockets. Like my phone can totally fit safely, and it's not like, you know, it's not going to fall out if I bend over kind of thing. You know, so there's lots of really great designs out there that are being like revamped that were old school patterns. They do use a fair amount of fabric, but and yes, fabric is expensive, but it's one of those things where you know, make it in something not too, like, you know, make it something nice, but that's not, you know, for this season only kind of thing. Like I don't do like the only reason I do seasons of clothing is temperature seasons. I'm like, I bought this top 2 years ago, I think, or a year ago. I'm still wearing it. I got t-shirts I bought 10 years ago. I'm still wearing them. I'm not a fashion person. I require clothing. That is all. I would like that clothing to be comfortable and to not look like, you know, a moo-moo. But aside from that, I don't have many preferences. Francis says if I buy anything without pockets, I'll sew them in. I've got this one pair of pants that I love to wear, and I'm like, all these pants need is pockets. So I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely function over fashion. Oh, for sure. For sure. I need to be able to move around comfortably. I need to be able to sit comfortably. I need to be able to stand comfortably. You know, like I don't want an outfit that's like a standing only outfit, because if I sit in it, I stop breathing. I feel that way if I've got to wear a belt with jeans. Because if the belt's got to be, because I got a, you know, big hips and a smaller waist, the belt's got to be cinched up to keep the jeans on, or keep the jeans up. And but then the problem is if you have to sit down, then the belt literally cuts you in half. So I don't tend to wear a belt with my jeans because of that. It's like, oh, I'd like to breathe for the whole day, if that's cool. Knitspin Girl says, I don't do fashion. I'm a jeans and t-shirt girl. Yeah. Well, I'm a linen pant and t-shirt girl. I don't do jeans at all. I do have jeans. I don't find jeans to be super comfortable. So I like my flowy linen pants. Of varying lengths. It's now the joke that like a grey t-shirt and either blue or black linen pants is my uniform around the house. Tim and Abby have both commented on it now. I didn't think they'd notice, but apparently they have. So, you know. Francis says, I also sew in extra elastic at the waist if needed. Yeah, I remember years ago, I took some jeans in to get altered by a lady, and she suggested this thing that she does for her daughter's jeans. Because similar issues, similar shape, where like the back of the jeans sort of billows, there's like a lot of space. And so she does this thing where she puts in this piece of elastic in the back to hold it, because you need the fabric to pull them on. You can't just cut it out and put darts in because you're not going to get the pants up. And so she puts in this piece of elastic that holds it all into place, and it looked great. Like it looked fine. I had no issues with it whatsoever. And she retired, and I didn't learn how to do it, so I'm going to have to. So she would like unpick the waistband, place a piece of elastic, I don't know how long it was, and stitch that in, and then close the waistband back over it. So I really used to like that. Game Widow says, I used to be a jeans girl, but lately my uniform is a t-shirt, apron dress, and maybe leggings. Inner Logic says, I'm a t-shirt, basketball shorts girl around the house. I grudgingly throw jeans on if I have to go out in public. Yeah, I tend to change my shorts into long pants when I go out. No one needs to see that much glowing white. And then I remember I went to do something like this week, and Tim and Abby were like, Are you going out? And I'm like, yes. And they're like, but you're in shorts. You never wear shorts. Bianca says, I tend to wear mini dresses around the house in summer, but wear my knits when I go out. Oh, okay. Francis says, I go from side seam all the way across the back. Oh, okay. No, she just does a bit this lady just did a bit in the middle of the back. And I think that was just because that's where I needed that for jeans. That's the section I particularly need, you know. So like it's the same issue. So my narrow back does go down all the way down. So, yeah. Game Winner says, my legs are so white, they're blue. Mine are probably not far off, to be honest. I mean, I do wear shorts around the house. So, you know, if I go out and play with the dog in the yard and stuff, I do get some sun, but they are still very white. Alrighty, we are up to my next, just about up to my next round, which is something a little bit different. What I do want to do is I want to try this on a little bit. I probably don't have the best top on to try it, and I also need some stitch keeper because this needle is not long enough. This spin girl says, I'm usually tracky pants or shorts around the house. I always get changed if I have to be seen in public. Yeah. So I now, because, you know, it helps my brain, like, okay, work hours kind of thing. Like I'm doing work. I've got my linen shorts for being around the house in. I will wear the linen shorts out depending on where I'm going. They are longer shorts. They are not like short shorts. They are just shorts. And so they're good. Like I'll be taking some of those away on my holiday with me because I won't be, like, they're fine. I'm happy to wear those. All right, I need some stitch paper. Alrighty. And I didn't want to use the pink because I got a pink sweater and I want to be able to see if it pops off or something. So, because what I'm judging here is if like I've got to do some, like I've got 4 rounds where I just increase every round, and I'm thinking of adding those increases into my shoulders, but not into the front and the back. But I've just got to have a look and decide. Okay, so let's. A few more stitches off. Who else has been watching the new Star Trek series like me? All right, let's hear. Hang on a second, we'll go with this. All right, let me. I mean, it's still curling up a little bit. I could probably get a bit more onto the stitch saver here. Probably would have been better to try and keep these guys, the needles actually out of the shoulders. But anyway, that's where they are. All right, let's have a look here. Alrighty, so I mean, you know, it's not perfect because it's still. I'm just thinking, where is the shoulders? There's one shoulder. Yeah, I definitely don't need any more at the front for sure. So I can just put them into the arms, I think. Yeah, I definitely don't need more at the front. Because they're sitting there and there. So I probably could have actually stopped increasing at the front a little while ago. That's alright. I do want it to be a little bit oversized. But yeah, I think I'll just do the increases into the shoulders rather than everywhere. And this is the thing, you make yourself a garment and just you can make it how you want. Don't get you started on Star Trek Saved by the Bell. I mean, it's a school. Like that's the thing. Like everyone's like, it's not Star Trek. I'm like, it's the Star Trek school. It's not going to be the same as other Star Trek. I'm thinking, like, because we're only 2 episodes in, I think they're good for what they are. I didn't like most Star Treks in the first 2 episodes. I'll be honest. I need more time with the characters before I'm, you know, okay with it. But in saying that, I also think this one's got a positive start. So one thing I did have to go back and do is I didn't watch all of Star Trek Discovery because I don't like time jumping stuff. It bugs me. And it got into this section where they were doing this time jumping stuff. And so I stopped watching it. And it was not long after that, excuse me, that Star Trek Strange New World started. And I really liked that one. So I sort of jumped ship, right? Except there's stuff I'm missing that I need. That I that I don't really understand, but I know that it is explained. Well, apparently, explained is an overstatement, but it's mentioned in Discovery. So I've gone back to start watching some Discovery. So yeah, now I'm into season 2 of Discovery. So we'll See how that goes. Oh yeah, there's definitely some stuff that I don't, not 100% happy with, right? But as I said, I find that with a lot of new Star Treks. It takes me a little while to adjust to the new characters and whatever it is that they're doing that's a bit different. And once I do, I'm fine. But I like that it is different. You know, we don't just want to keep rehashing the same crap over and over again. Like, yes, Starfleet, I do think it's an interesting take on how they're doing it. I'll be very curious to see how they do it. And I'm definitely going to give them the effort. Dude on the bridge, tachyons detected off the starboard bow. Special effects shows crap off the starboard bow. Oh, it detected off the port bow and then it showed the starboard bow. Oh, okay. Betas are telepathic. They communicate telepathically. Let's have them speak to each other and use American Sign Language with the deaf guy. Yeah, look, I think the thing to remember is that 900 years has gone past and stuff changes in 900 years. So yeah, look, you know, and like, don't forget they've also muted her like the daughter's telepathic ability a bit for whatever reasons, and so she may not be able to telepathically listen to her dad and brother anymore because they've had to do that for her own safety. We don't know the stories. We don't know the backstories yet. The one thing that did bug me was that whole I think I've swallowed my comm badge. I'm like, really? Okay. That one did bug me a little bit because I'm like, right. And she seems to be a bit of a strange ranger, that one. But other than that, they're my only sort of like picky picks. But most of it, I'm like, okay, I need more context. I need to understand what's going on better and stuff like that, which is why I've gone back to watch more Discovery as well. Now, what am I doing? I'm only going to be doing the increases on the insides of the sleeves. All right. Leader of the Starfleet cadets undergo weeks of training and tests. And why did you skip all that for this criminal kid? I think that criminal kid already proved that he could do a lot of that stuff. You know, throughout his life of running away from the law. He obviously can fly a shuttle. He obviously can do other things. You know. But I also like that no one there's perfect. I do like that. I like that there's rough edges because this is the first time this academy's been used in 120 years, and you know this is the first class in a long time. So I don't know. I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt right now. I'm going to hopefully enjoy it. I don't know if I will, but for right now, I'm going to enjoy it. Oh, your issue. I understand now. I understand. Your issue was he was whinging about it, and then his kids got to skip the process, and the son ended up at academy, and the daughter ended up in the war thing. Yeah, you're right. I didn't even pick up on that. That's yeah. Like let's make them happy. We've got to make the Beta Zeds happy so their kids can go to the schools here. Cool, no problems. Yeah, I don't know. I do see your point though. Absolutely. And that's exactly what happened. Oh, wait a second. I don't know. I'm good. I thought I skipped where I was up to. So I've got to remind myself, don't let me do it. I've got to not increase on the outside, but only increase on the insides of the sleeves because everything else is big enough. Because what I did here is I've actually made it to this point one size larger than I want to wear, than I would normally wear because I want those extra stitches for the sleeves. When I'm not quite sure. I thought you were writing whinging. He was whinging about it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just reading the words wrong. Bianca says, I'm just grateful there's new Star Trek. Yeah, look, I'm a little bit in that camp as well. I just hope it's good. 1,000 years later, they have a plaque for the gardener. I mean, sure, fan service, but it's been 1,000 years. Look, I'm okay with the Boothby Garden. I really am, because he was a big part for a lot of people. Yeah, I don't know how to spell whinge either. I think it's got the H. I think it's got the H. I don't know. I'd have to look that up. It's probably one of those words that no matter how you spell it, it looks wrong. I grew up in a household where my mum would be like, "Oh, hang on, let me just write down how to spell that word," and she'd write it down. She'd be like, "No, that looks wrong," and she was right. Because I do the same thing now. I'll be like, "Wait a second, no, that still looks wrong." So yeah, see, look, even with the H, it looks wrong, or at least to me, anyway. But I think that's I don't know, words. Yeah, whinge and whine. Yes. Oh, yes. Okay. All right. All right. Yes. When you put it with the whinge and whine together, yes, I see it. Third episode drops today, I think. I'll be looking forward to that with my lunch. Be like, I will sit down and hopefully it's there. That's going to be that'll be my new routine for the next few months. Be like, after the live stream, I get my lunch and then I sit and I watch the latest Star Trek episode. That will be the thing. Okay, do not do the increase after the sleeve. Now we are, that's the sleeve. This is the front. All right, go across the front. Yeah, and the longer you look at it, the more wronger it looks. Yeah, yeah. I think so. Silly words. I'm going to overemphasize the H whenever I say it now, like Stewie on the. I like whinge. Going to whinge at me and whine. Whine. My desktop is on some sort of, it's moving, like usually it's a static image, but for whatever reason, usually it only moves when the computer's not on, like as a screensaver, but it's currently moving. I don't know why. I'm going to be looking into it because it is distracting. And then but then it sort of gets to a point and has to restart the short video. So every time it does it, I'm like, oh, what's happened on the screen? And it's like nothing happened. It just restarted the video. So I don't understand why it's doing that, because I've got software running over the top of it and we're live streaming and it should just be sitting there like a flat image. My watch has just jumped 1,000 steps while I'm on. I actually should take mine off because it's counting the steps while I knit. But I like to have it on while I'm live streaming, so I get notifications of anything I need to know about. Because I have some softwares turned off on my computer that I probably shouldn't do, so work can't message and have it pop up in the middle of the live stream. Have you mentioned we are catching up this Sunday? No, I have not. Kelly has arranged, thank you for the reminder, Kelly, that we will now have a permanent home at the for our once a month weekend catch-ups for Caffeinated Crafters, which is we will be at the Club Beanley at this Sunday. We're moving them from Saturdays to Sundays. And it is, we've just got it's the function room, not Hamel. There's 2 function rooms. One of them's called Hamel, and we'll be in the Hamel room going forward. But for this Sunday, we're in the other one. It's the same floor. You go upstairs to the Barra restaurant and you kind of cut through diagonally to the side where the tennis courts are and walk up there, and the doorway's there. And yeah, so, but we're there from 10 a.m. till 5 p.m. and you can just order your meals from the bar. The food is really good. They bring it all in. They treat us really well there. We really love it. And we have our own space. So we have lots of room, lots of tables, lots of chairs, and it's quiet. And then we can, and I highly recommend, if you plan on coming more than once, go and get yourself a membership, because you get you get the points, and like you can score yourself a free coffee or free dessert or whatever it is with your points. So yeah, highly recommend that if you are going to be coming regularly, you should totally get the membership of the club for sure. Oh, the episode drops in 3 hours, in 6 hours. Well, that's not fair. That's going to ruin my plan for lunch. Oh yeah, Josephine says it's quiet until we get there. Which is different from the cafe. Like Cafe 63 is like really loud and like it's comfortable and it's nice and there's lots of food options there as well, and I like it there too, but it's very loud. So like before we even get there. So yeah, we definitely add some noise. No, I absolutely understand that you can't stay up till 3 a.m. for sure. Even on any night. So yeah. Um so yeah. Yeah, 6 hours there. Like, I'll be able to watch it in 6 hours. I probably won't because I'll be cooking dinner. But I don't want it to be a Thursday night. I think that sucks. Why is it? It usually drops either at midnight or midday for us. So, but and when it says Thursday, I thought it was going to drop at midday. That's not fair. I don't like that. I'm gonna check. I'll check what time it will drop for me here, because maybe it'll be slightly different. Maybe we will get a little smidgy dash earlier. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't It's unlikely, but wouldn't it be nice if I actually get to have what I want, which is to sit and eat my lunch watching the new episode of Star Trek? That would be so cool. Okay, now I've gone across the front. Don't increase there. Increase on the sleeves. Oh, I should write a note about this. Size 8. And then at the section 4 raglan. Repeat round 1. Only in sleeves. I'll have to do a recount of what the stitch totals are so I know where I'm actually at for the future stitch counterings. And again, I don't mind, like, I don't mind if it's a big sleeve and then I bring it down so it's got a little bit of, you know, like pillow, there's a word, but bunching, and then bring it down and do the I-cord sleeve bind off. I don't mind if I do that again. That's cool. I like that. 3 a.m. for me would be midnight West Coast. Okay, so maybe that's what they're doing. Oh, it's not midday for me. I'll have to look at it. I'll have to check it. But I'm not going to check it right now because I want to finish this round, because I want to, you know, finish the round. So, yeah, so on round 1. Okay. So this is the thing, when we make our own garments, we can adjust them to suit ourselves. So, you know, it's kind of the point, right? We don't like how a pattern fits, go the jiggery pokery. Okay, so that's on the inside, so I can increase this stinker there. There we go. Now this is the outside. Don't increase the knot sleeves. Why is that being a bump? Ah, there's a piece of the previous. There we go. It's amazing how if you don't split your stitch, it's much easier to knit into it, hey? Amazing. Okay. Oh, you guys, you should have told me I wasn't showing what I was doing. I've just been sitting here knitting and talking and not showing, like a bad person. I do wish they would keep Lower Decks, and I like Strange New Worlds. I can't watch Prodigy though. I didn't like that type of animation. Yeah, I would agree with you there. I wish that they would make, like, I like the storyline of Prodigy, but yeah, I struggled to get into it because it didn't feel, I don't know what, I didn't like it. there was something about it I didn't like, but I liked the storylines and I liked the characters that they built. But I think you might be right. I think it might be the type of animation. And I did like Lower Decks. Lower Decks was fun. And I love Strange New Worlds. I really enjoy it a lot. It really gives me like original Star Trek vibes. Um, so what to do with balls of DK yarn? Might do a hex granny cardigan. How many balls of DK yarn? What is it, cotton or is it wool, or the what's the yarn? Yeah, Bianca says, yeah, I wish they hadn't cancelled Lower Decks. I agree. It was fun. It was fun. And I liked when they did that crossover where they ended up like in real Star Trek, like in Strange New Worlds. I liked that crossover. That was fun. Bianca says, I did like Prodigy. I don't watch any cartoons or anime generally, so I had no preference, I suppose. Francis says, this is frogged wool. Well, the first thing I would probably do is wash it and hang it so that it's not quite so crinkly. So you've got less chance of any issues with the wool. And then re-ball it and then go from there, and you can pretty well make whatever you want. My issue that I had with the frogged yarn was that I didn't wash it. I didn't re-ball it. So it was just super crinkly, like seriously crinkly. In a logic, hot take, that crossover episode was the greatest episode of New Trek. I don't even think that's a hot take. I think that's just a fact. I thought that was so well done, so clever and so fun. I don't even think that's a hot take. And with Picard, like I watched all 3 seasons, but I loved season 3. And it was because of the whole, comfort of seeing all those people that I basically grew up with. That was my original Star Trek. I went back to watch Next Generation, went back to watch the TOS, and I did watch some of the movies sort of growing up because my parents were Trekkies. But the Next Generation was my series. So having a lot of those guys come back was so awesome. I would have loved Legacy where all their kids were off doing stuff. I would have loved to have seen that, and I really wish it was still, like, I really wish it was a possibility. But I'll take Academy, like from the future, totally different, being able to mention different people. Like if you, like, there's so many Easter eggs so far. Like there was the, what's Hoshi's surname? There's like the different rooms and stuff. What the other thing that I absolutely love is that the voice of the computer for the dean of the university is Stephen Colbert, which I just love. I think that's hilarious. So yeah, I mean, Athena's ship's voice is different, but the dean of the university voice computer is Stephen Colbert. I think that's very cool. Yeah, they had 2 seasons of fans bitching, and then season 3 was the fan service. Same with the Discovery. They got so much flack when they shifted their storyline. I'm hoping the shift of storyline actually makes me enjoy it, because season 1, I was a bit like, I'm not a big fan of this. I'm hoping that the storyline shift that they've just gone through. I'm in. Where am I up to here? Okay. I'm in the section where they're in the future, but that, like, and with book and stuff like that. So I'm hoping I like that more, honestly, because I certainly was not a big fan of like the Terran type, like the Terran sort of arc. So yeah. But they did a similar thing with Deep Space Nine. They had the Terran arc. Were they Terrans from the like where they're all cruel and mean in the alternate the alternate thing. So yeah, I'm hoping that I like it better, but I haven't watched the ending. I don't know what happens at the ending of Discovery. I jumped ship in season 1. I got through 10 or 12 episodes and went, nope, this isn't for me, and jumped ship. So yeah. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I hope that I have hope. I have hope that I will enjoy this new one. Alrighty. Yeah, the mirror universe. Yeah. So yeah, I wasn't a fan of it in Deep Space Nine either. I didn't like it. I don't like it when the characters that I come to love, are basically the Terran versions are cruel and awful. So it messed with my head a little bit. So I don't watch those. So the Terran stuff bugged me. I know some people love that. I don't. I'm sure the actors love doing it because it means they get to play differently. So it's probably fun for the actors, but not for me. Alrighty. Okay. Now I know where I'm up to, so I'm going to stop here. I'm stopping here. I mark that number 2. I know where I'm up to. Louis, is it lunchtime, big boy? Oi. Louis. Louis up here. Nah, Louis is like dead to the world. He's stopped talking. All right, I'm going to go off. I'm going to have my lunch as well. I will catch you all here next week. Thank you for persevering and coming back even after Saturday was a nightmare. I will see a pile of you on Sunday at Club Beanley. Yeah, I hope everyone has a great week and you just get the craft done that you want to get done and you make things that you like and you want to wear and you want to make. Like, that's why we do this stuff. It takes forever to make it. Why make something we don't like? So I'll catch you all next week. Be good now. Bye.